Welcome back to another episode. As an avid outdoors person, I wanted boots that would be comfortable, waterproof, and tough for multiple environments and seasons. Enter Timberland's Greenstride Originals Ultra Waterproof boots that caught my attention. What makes the Greenstride different from Timberland's most popular products is the fact that it has TimberDry, a waterproof membrane made with at least 50% recycled plastic, and ReBOTL, an innovative method of recycling discarded plastic bottles by transforming them into RPET yarns. On the heels of the boots, you can see that the leather is debossed with Timberland's logo and the word waterproof. On the website, Timberland says the waterproof footwear is a process that incorporates a variety of advanced waterproofing materials, treatments, and processes. I'll be testing this waterproof feature later, so stay tuned. The rand is a thin rubber layer that goes over the top of a hiking boot and is designed to prevent injury from sharp objects. Usually, the rand is glued to the larger material, but a future issue that could occur is that the glue loses its effectiveness, peels away, and lets water leak in. Instead, Timberland stitched the rand to the leather in combination with a glue sealant or heating technique. The designers understood that the product should withstand tough hiking conditions and designed it as such. Part of the waterproofness involves stitching most of the tongue of the boot to the leather exterior. This creates a seal where liquids cannot penetrate and enter the interior of the boot. If you've ever worn shoes where water ended up getting inside, you know how uncomfortable it is. Not only is it waterproof, but it acts as a seal against cold air getting in, thus keeping your feet warm. In the demo section of this video, I'll show how effective this design is. This pull stop is there to help you slide your feet into the boot. Traditionally, pull stops have a notorious reputation of falling apart after a few uses, but the Greenstride strap is a well-woven pattern fabric that is neatly sewn 3 times in 3 different places to avoid such issues. Using the strap often, I haven't experienced any quality issues so far. To increase the longevity of the boot, you want to keep the boot inserts or buy cedar shoe tree inserts. By consistently using these inserts or shoe trees, you help to maintain the boot's shape, protect the leather by pulling out moisture, and also combat odor. The leather and lining of your shoes are still going to absorb moisture from your feet, and over time this can lead to rotting of your lining and potentially the leather cracking. Cedar shoe trees are preferred over other types of wood because it contains natural oils that aren't supportive to bacterial or fungal growth. The soles and treads of the boot are the Greenstride, natural and high rebound foam made with 75% renewable materials such as sugarcane and natural rubber. As you can see, they're made with a sinusoidal pattern, you know, the waveform pattern that your calculus teacher taught you about. Yep, here's how it became useful in real life. The green hexagon pattern doesn't have a specific purpose besides aesthetics. The overall height of the boot soles are about ½ an inch to an inch thick, so it'll give you a nice height boost when you're walking through snow or water. The metal eyelets and D-ring loops are tightly integrated into the leather. Only with extensive use will I know how well they stay in the boots, but I haven't come across reviews mentioning issues with Timberland eyelets. The quality of the eyelets are such that the laces can slide through them effortlessly and without a friction noise. The tongue of the boot is made of an inflated, insulated cushion material to further keep your feet warm during cooler temperatures. Even though it looks really thick, it didn't apply any pressure on the upper part of my feet. The external stitching of the boot is quite incredible, and I didn't find anything out of place or didn't make sense from a functional or aesthetic point of view. The designers really put in thought of where potential water or cold air could enter and made sure to seal it. The exterior is made from better leather, which means they were sourced from a tannery rated gold or silver by the Leather Working Group. The brown stitching matches the leather such that from a distance, the boot exterior looks like it's made from a single piece of leather. This is what the insole looks like, and personally I'm not a fan of. It's made from anti-fatigue technology, a comfort system designed with shock-absorbing geometrical technology that returns energy back to the foot. Personally, as someone who likes insoles with cushion and bounce, I found that the insoles are too thin for my liking. That said, do feel free to replace the insoles with whatever orthopedic inserts or insoles that feel comfortable to you. Let's lace them up and go for a spin. I really recommend that people buy thick socks for these boots if you intend to wear them during cooler weather. The thickness will act as an adequate shock absorption system if you don't want to replace the default insoles. Loosen the laces around the ankles and use the pull strap to slide your feet in. Remember how I mentioned the eyelets earlier? Now when I pull the top laces, you can see how they effortlessly slide through the eyelets. Before I continue, I see that I'm getting more views on my channel than ever before, but the likes are low. Please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Doing so helps the channel grow and allows me to make more content. Here, I tried the boots on different surfaces like a rotten tree log, tree stump, and foliage and tree roots. I found that the soles of the boots didn't grip such a regular material really well when I climbed on them. In my opinion, these boots aren't meant for walking on such surfaces, more so flat, paved surfaces. The boot did protect my ankles from rolling, which could have led to a sprain or worse, so that had to be mentioned. On basic dirt trails like this one, the boot performs really well. It could grip the ground without issue, and I didn't have to be attentive to much debris on the ground, since I could easily step on it and not feel it. This day I filmed was particularly cold and very windy, but my feet were warm the entire time. My biggest issue and complaint with the Greenstride has to do with the heels on inclined surfaces and slopes. It hurts. I experienced some uncomfortable rubbing and bruising around this area when walking up any sloped ground. The soreness didn't clear up until I took a break on flat ground where I can take them off for a few minutes and massage the affected area. There needs to be thick internal padding in the heels to avoid such painful soreness and bruising. After the hike, this is what the treads look like. You can see that it picked up small pebbles and mud in the sinusoidal treads. Thanks to the simple design, the treads are easy to clean now. Fortunately, the rubber is thick and hard, so it hasn't experienced any type of gashes that could let water in. As I mentioned earlier, the Greenstride performs the best in paved surfaces seen here. The design communicates that it's made for urban settings, and when you combine it with black jogger pants or jeans, you end up creating a modern yet minimalist fashion statement. Timberland advertises that the boots are lightweight and agree that they are light despite its sturdy looking appearance. You can do short sprints of them and not feel that you're wearing concrete shoes. Lightweightness is important because it will impact your overall stamina and enjoyment of the footwear, especially if you have knee injuries, mobility disabilities, and more. In driving my vehicle with the Greenstrides, I thought I had experienced some clunkiness or tapped the accelerator and brakes at the same time, but I didn't. I was able to feel the accelerator and braking pedals as if I was wearing my running shoes. The sole where the toe joints are thinner than the heels, so I didn't need to apply much pressure to the pedals. And since the boots are lightweight, I didn't feel any tiredness or soreness in my ankle and feet when alternating between pedals. So, how do these boots actually perform in the snow and cold weather? They're really good actually. Walking through the snow-covered parking lot, I found that the treads managed to grip the slippery pavement without issue. By the time I reached the end of the parking lot, the boots are covered in snow, but not once did I lose my balance or feel like I was going to. The boot tongue being sewn to the leathers really prevents the snow, cold air, and moisture from getting inside the boot, as I mentioned earlier, which is critical for when you're walking long distances in the Canadian winter, which I actually did for this clip. I had the same experience while walking on the snow-covered grass and trail. I could walk on it as if the snow wasn't there, and I was wearing cleated soccer shoes. From the snow prints, you can see that the boots don't leave a light impression. They actually get down to the base layer of the ground to securely grip it. At the end of the walk, I realized that no snow entered the mouth of the boot, which would have melted inside and made my feet cold, wet, and miserable for the walk back home. Even loosely laced at the top, I didn't experience a backsplash of snow enter into the calves area. The boots weren't sprayed with any water repellent product before going into the snow, but the snow melt didn't last long on it once I walked indoors. In closing, the Timberlands Greenstride are a comfortable and fashionable men's boot. They're easy to slip on and lace up, and with thick soles, lightweightness, and solid external leather design, you'll find yourself wanting to wear them all the time. Areas of improvement should include additional padding around the heels for when you're hiking on inclined slopes, because I experienced intense pain despite thick wool socks and the anti-fatigue insoles. I also think that the tread pattern and soles might have to be designed better for better grip on irregular, unpaved surfaces, as seen when I stood on the rotten tree log and stump. If you found this review useful, give it a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next episode.